First podcast of the new year.
Yeah, first podcast of the year. It's time to get it going.
I'm Cy from RiderzLaw.
I'm Fabian from RiderzLaw.
And let's go. Let's talk about stuff. It's an exciting year, 2024.
2024. We have a lot of stuff going on. We have a lot of little things happening, and we can finally start announcing it.
Yeah, I guess we're official now. Does this go up higher, or is this it?
That's it.
Did you put my chair down a little?
Yeah, maybe.
Is that a thing? Nope, that's it.
No way.
Do I have to
No, this thing goes all the way down. You just hit the lever.
Which way?
Well, I think it's the other way. It's the other lever. Wait, no, on your left.
There's another level?
Down more, down.
Oh,
right there.
There it is. All right.
There it is.
Are we on the same? Now I'm close to the mic.
Oh, no, now I can hear you way better.
Let's go. This is how it's done professionally.
Yes.
Where's my lever at?
Where's my lever?
Awesome things happening in sponsorship with RiderzLaw. So we talked a little bit last year. RiderzLaw is back.
RiderzLaw is back, yes.
It was more an announcement last year than an actual thing happening, because we were talking about 2024. RiderzLaw is back this year.
Yeah, it's happening now. It was a warning, I guess, to everybody that
I don't even know which news is the biggest.
Get ready. There's a lot of big news. Big news. Big news. There's a lot of big news, and I think it's all strong stuff.
Yeah,
I think
it's kind of epic. Yeah. Any one of these things would be huge.
Which one do you want to start with first?
I mean, we had talked about the what once was Feel Like a Pro.
Yes.
Feel Like a Pro, who we've worked with for years and years and years, has changed ownerships multiple times over the years. The last owner, I mean, I'm not going to publicly out him and being a total screw up. I guess I just did. The last owner didn't do a great job. I think he overpromised, underdelivered, and then, from my standpoint, most importantly, broke a bunch of our equipment and pretended that it just arrived broken. Like you had it for 2 years.
Can we talk about that now?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
We don't have to say his name.
Yeah. So
people who know him. I don't care.
So we let him use the RiderzLaw trailer with a big awning.
It's a big 30-foot trailer. Yeah. It was the trailer that we would use for Moto America.
Yeah. And so the conversation was, I messaged him asking him like, hey, where's the trailer? We kind of want it back since he wasn't using it.
And since we weren't going to be working with him.
Yeah, and then he was like, oh, yeah, it's here. Please come pick it up because I'm paying monthly for it, for storage. And I'm like, okay. So he didn't tell me anything about it. And I sent someone to go pick it up. And then that person that sent it to me said, by the way, I hope you know that the trailer's crashed. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He never mentioned anything about the trailer being crashed. And so I told him, I'm like, send me pictures. So we went to go pick it up, and he sent me pictures.
Him being the guy we sent to get it.
Yeah, the guy we sent to get it, yeah. So
he was one of our racers from years back.
Yeah,
too.
and he never, but yeah, the owner never told me that he crashed it or anything, and it was awkward, actually.
It's still a bit awkward because I don't like suing people in the industry.
Yeah.
The reality is we have insurance on this thing, but I can't even make a claim because I don't know when it happened, where it happened, who was driving. I'll read the text. It's pretty funny. I mean, it's not funny because it's our...
It isn't funny.
Because it's, expensive. I mean, we're looking at something like $10,000 to $15,000 worth of damage this knucklehead did.
Yeah, that's what they quoted me. They said anywhere between 10 to 15K.
Yeah. Which, things happen. But again, that's why we have insurance on this. And, yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
Anyway.
Well, with that being said...
Yeah, but anyway, I asked him what happened. I was, hey, man, need to know so I can make an insurance claim. And he said, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
And I did the follow-up. Are you saying you don't know how it happened? And he ghosted me. So really classless, honestly.
Yeah.
I expect better from literally everybody on the planet, much less somebody that we've helped out for years.
Yeah, I mean, that's the... some people are just ungrateful and they feel like they just...
Yeah, I don't even need gratitude. How about just being a stand-up human?
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Being a good person.
Yeah.
That's, you know.
So anyway, we're not working with them this year, but we are working with an exciting kind of, meet the new boss, same as the old boss, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Dave, he used to own Feel Like a Pro.
Dave from Feel Like a Pro.
Yeah. So Dave from Feel Like a Pro.
Is it Dave Sale or Dave
Seal?
It's Seal or
Seal, yeah.
Seyl.
S-E-Y-L.
Everybody knows Dave.
Yeah, everyone
no
knows
one says
Dave.
his name.
Yeah, we're super.
It's one syllable. No one knows how to say it.
We're super excited to have him back. I mean, we've been working with him for like the last 4 months now. Kind of secretly, not so secretly.
Talking about getting this going.
Yeah, so we're excited to. So it's going to be the new company. It's going to be called. So let's back up a little bit. So the new owner of Feel Like a Pro was trying to sell everything for like $100,000 or something like that. Yeah. And so Dave was like, we were contemplating on buying it back, not sure. And so Dave,
based on the equipment I've seen, you don't want to pay more than $100 for that stuff.
Exactly. So then that's when Dave just basically said, let's just start everything brand new.
Yeah.
So we have a new motorcycle rental company.
Yeah.
It's
going to look a lot, not color wise, but it's going to look a lot like Feel Like a Pro.
It's going to, I mean, the old Feel Like a Pro is going to be just as professional and careless. It's not going to be as carelessly maintained as it was last year. 2 years ago.
Dave is a consummate professional.
Yeah.
I mean, he makes sure his stuff is taken care of. He's a gentleman. I mean, it's really nice working with people who just do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah. So now instead of the new company is going to be called Rumble Strip Racing or Rumble Strip Rentals.
Rumble Strip Rentals.
Yes. So the new colors are going to be yellow and black. It's super exciting. We're not going to be on Kawasaki's anymore. We're going to be on R3s, and then the beginning of this year, Yamaha's helping us out with with some bikes and with some equipment. Next year, we might upgrade into some R7s as well.
It's kind of exciting.
So it is pretty exciting with that. There's already 5 dates.
And the R3 is a great track bike.
Yeah,
we've raced R3s.
Yeah, we crashed them.
We on the same day.
on the
we
same
both
day.
crashed at Chuckwalla on the same day. R3s.
Yes.
Madness.
Yeah, I crashed.
That's how much solidarity we have.
Yeah,
for one another.
I feel like I crashed and then you crashed that. You didn't crash that race. No, I crashed. Then there was a red flag. You restarted it. You restarted that race and then you crashed. It's technically you crashed the same race.
Yeah, that's
you
insane.
just crashed on the restart. Yeah.
Yeah.
He saw me go down and he said, "Might as well I'll go down too."
Right. Yeah.
One
we
of
share
us.
everything.
One falls, everyone falls.
Yeah.
That was the day I dislocated my shoulder.
Yeah. I have to throw a picture of that up. I found the pictures. Did I show you yet?
I have the pictures too.
They're amazing.
I look at them every now and then.
The best. You're in a RiderzLaw hat in the hospital,
just like knocked out. Yeah, I was
not looking as ripped as you do now.
Yeah,
by the way, you're kind of fat in the picture.
Yeah, I was a bit heavier.
I know I shouldn't say that because I'm sitting here like 20 pounds I got to drop, but. Yeah, you didn't look like you do now.
Yeah, I had to gain weight because I would
use the word jolly.
Just for suspension purposes.
Right. Yeah, you looked a little jolly.
I need to get more traction. That's exactly what it was.
That's outstanding.
So that's a super exciting thing that's going on right now. So we have a couple dates. April should be our first date. April 13, 14, 15. It's all going to be at Thunder Hill.
Yeah, there may be some tentative Laguna Seca in there, peppered in there, but. Yeah, but by and large, it's going to be Thunder Hill, which, as anyone who's a track day person in California knows, it's hard to beat Thunder Hill.
Yeah,
in terms of the quality of the track, in terms of, the people who show up are usually great.
Yeah,
and I mean, and the value. I love Laguna Seca, but you pay like triple.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, so that's one.
That's one.
So Rumble Strip Rentals, super excited. Website's already up.
Which we will accidentally call Flap about 400 times over the next 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, I am going to call it Flap.
Yeah,
I'm going to call it Rumble Strip Rentals Flat Bikes.
Yeah, totally.
Second one, it's not necessarily so secret anymore. Is Christian Daniel Jr. is on the Rookies Cup this coming year, and we actually pulled it together and got him some support from Better Call Saul and RiderzLaw.
Yeah,
right? I think so.
So people wonder what RiderzLaw and what the connection is. RiderzLaw is, of course, the old brand, but now we've bought them out, so it's just Fabian and Cy running RiderzLaw.
Yes.
And we intend in the coming months and years to be adding attorneys in other states, but it'll be a very strict and thorough vetting process. We're gonna,
Yes.
if you're gonna be a rider's law attorney, you have to. Everybody says they ride. It's because they bought a Harley like 3 weeks before the photo shoot, and you would not put a loved one on the back of the motorcycle with most of those attorneys.
Yeah.
And so that's part of it is vetting the fact that they're real riders. They don't have to have a race resume. That doesn't hurt.
We should have them race like.
That's a great idea. The Riders Law Cup with one event just being the attorneys.
Yeah, race the attorney.
Well, and the other thing is going to be like, your professional resume. Just because a guy happened to graduate some law school and eke by the bar exam and happens to ride motorcycles, which is by itself rare enough, but we don't want. To put it frankly, we don't want losers representing Riders Law Racing. Riders Law has always been top-notch legal service by people like me, by people like you who actually care about riders, because we are those guys.
Yeah, we are the riders.
So that'll be exciting as we start to really branch that out. But right now, the California and Las Vegas Riders Law attorneys, you're looking at the operation right here,
and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh now. I hadn't quite announced that yet, but yeah. So Pittsburgh's starting this year as well, which makes sense only if you know that I'm from Pittsburgh and I'm back there all the time anyway.
Yeah, hence the colors, right?
Right. That's how we ended up with when we bought out my old partner.
Yeah.
The black and yellow.
So that's the side story of Better Call Saul and Riders Law. But yeah, so Christian Daniel Jr. We're gonna be helping him out this year. We're gonna be a helmet sponsor. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so we're gonna be on top of that. One of the cool things is we haven't officially set, but
Apex.
We're planning on having Christian Daniel Jr. back into the States in summer in July and doing like an Apex clinic, like riding clinic. We have another racer that we're just going to talk about as well. That
Apex is a mini bike track.
He's going to join as well, and so we're going to help out. We're going to try to help out as many racers or riders, learn how to ride better on the small little mini bikes.
It's a great platform. I mean, I've known a lot of guys, my age, your age, and younger, who think that stuff is for kids. But I'll tell you what, you see professional racers using mini bikes to work on their techniques.
It's so much
if you
fun.
think you're too advanced for that, I hate to tell you you're wrong.
Yeah, I love it. They're so expensive, but it's
they're not expensive compared to these stuff we ride on the track.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like an R7 costs like $7-8 grand, right? One of those little mini bikes costs the same amount, like $7-8 grand. If you invest the money into it,
let Fam's dad do it for you.
That's true. Does he still do that?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm sure he can point us in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean,
Tri-moto.
You have to do a lot. So, Christian Daniel Jr., welcome to the team. Super excited to have you, buddy. Well, he never left.
To the team.
He never left.
We've been with this kid since he was like 2 feet tall.
Yeah, he was 6, 7.
Yeah,
6 or 7 years old. He's 13 now.
It's crazy, and he's starting to look like a man. He's got a little mustache.
He has a little mustache. I love it.
It's so funny. What else do we got?
Yeah, we have one more racer. So
we'll save that for the end. That's fun.
Is it fun?
I don't know.
I mean, I think everyone kind of knows. We went cycling with them.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So
the story is out. Yeah, he's kind of announced it quietly on his...
he announced it on his Instagram as well. We're also going to be backing Josh Herron.
The great Josh Herron. World champion Josh Herron.
We're not doing anything like with his team yet. It's kind of more of just working with him directly. And then,
doing rides and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then if he,
videos, rides, kind of a off-track sponsorship.
Yeah, off-track sponsorship, and our goal is for us to maybe sometime next year get something with the team going as well.
Yeah,
Ducati's doing a lot.
Yeah,
Ducati's doing a lot, and so he's.
Ducati's doing a lot in every category.
Yeah, we're excited too. We're excited to back Josh Herron. We've been Josh Herron fans for a long time.
I mean, if you're an American and a motorcycle racing fan, you either love Josh Herron or you hate him, and mostly you should love him because he makes racing better.
Yeah, I think he does. He's a good kid, and he does everything. He's a genuine kid. He really
is. He's so nice.
Yeah, he is. He's super nice.
That's the one thing that I think a lot of people, the keyboard warriors, sometimes don't get. That he'll jaw a little bit, but that's part of what he considers the job and the act of making the sport more exciting, because he in real life is about as nice as they come.
Yeah, no, he's very personable, and he's up front. He's he's a straight edge kid. Like, he doesn't do anything that he's like
an American Tony Elias.
Yeah, I like Tony Elias.
No, anybody who's met Tony knows he's the nicest human on the planet.
He's super nice.
Like, we all thought he was the villain until you meet him, and you're like, oh
yeah,
man.
You're like, I really like him.
Yeah, no, that whole grid back then was just the nicest guys in the world.
Yeah, between
Cam and Tony. And what's his name, who went over to Superbike, to World Superbike? Why am I blanking on his name?
Oh,
Gerloff. Yeah, those guys were all just decent guys.
Yeah, I'm still super pumped about Gerloff, how he got to ride Valentino Rossi's motorcycle when he was in Misano. That's cool. He was when Rossi was, I think he was like injured or there's something wrong with him, and he wasn't riding. So he ended up riding it. Anyway, so racing, we all know Ducatis are everywhere. They are they're actually starting a Supercross team. They came out with a dirt bike now.
Yeah. So what do we have? So we have Ducati.
They announced it last year, and I think in a week or two they're going to start racing the MXGP, so motocross Grand Prix.
Yeah. So Ducati's getting into the dirt.
Yeah.
Ducati's got Marquez for this year.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting things over at the Italian brand.
Yeah, they're like, I remember in 2011, how they were just like really, really bad, and like they weren't, and then now they're throwing everything, they're going all out.
They were getting concessions.
Oh, I think
basically everything short of being allowed to start half a lap early.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I think Honda and Yamaha are going to get concessions now.
That's so crazy.
I was reading up on it, and based off of the rules, I think they're getting concessions. So one of them being that they don't have a locked motor, so like they can actually like do upgrades mid-year. They can do unlimited testing at any tracks. It can't be within a certain time that they go to that track. So for example, if you're going to go to COTA, there's like a block out window of like 3 weeks before COTA or something like that. I don't know the exact rules, but I mean, they can go anywhere and test whenever they want.
The idea of Yamaha and Honda getting concessions is
right?
Kind of gross.
Yeah.
But
it is what it is.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand I don't understand racing.
I mean, that's the rule, right? Because I mean, it's.
And yeah, they want it competitive, but I mean, to me, it defeats the purpose. Aren't we just supposed to see the best? The best offering.
Well, I mean, I think they did concessions. They started doing concessions because Suzuki wanted back in the game of GP, but they're like, well, everyone's just so far ahead of us. We need time to develop the bike, and so they, and then same thing with Ducati. Ducati wasn't doing well.
I understand KTM, if you're bringing a new brand in, that's one thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like it's to bring new brands in, but it's to keep the brands in as well, right? Because
they have to. I mean, what? Yeah, I don't get it. Like, what? Honda's not gonna race if you don't give us concessions. That's a good look for their brand.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. That's a question for them.
Yeah, I don't know.
That is a question for them. Yeah, so this past weekend we went to the Supercross race, A1.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I'm not really like, I like Supercross, but it's like riding in the dirt's, it's scary.
I didn't know that's where you're going with that. It's
right?
scary.
Like I just seeing them, the way that they're like just so gracefully move through the track. And then I just imagine, like, I've been on dirt tracks before, and I'm just like, the death grip is real.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember doing the camp, like a day of supercross camp with Bostrom,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was watching video and pictures afterwards, and looking at my jumps, I thought I was 6 feet in the air. It's
Yeah, you're like a couple
4 inches.
Yeah.
It's so embarrassing. Man,
Yeah.
I'm not. It doesn't always translate the road bike stuff.
No, I mean, I learned a lot when I did the Bostrom camp. I actually learned a lot.
Oh yeah.
I learned a lot, and I like how they have the rear slick on the back, and he has the knobby on the front.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, and the purpose of that camp is actually to make you a better street track rider.
Yeah.
Which I think it did. I mean, I walked away from there, half crippled because I was so sore.
Yeah.
But I stumbled away from that camp. I think a much better racer.
Yeah, you have you have more of the knowledge of like what to do, how to do it,
and you're getting used to sliding that bike,
yeah.
And it's a lot easier to get used to sliding in dirt than it is.
Yeah, especially those little bikes.
Yeah, that helps.
I heard that they don't have that property anymore.
Oh yeah, I remember when they sold it.
Oh, do you? I didn't know that. The other day I was thinking, I'm like, man, I want to go back and do it again.
Yeah,
and then,
I keep feeling like we should buy like some kind of
that would be fun
place that we can turn into a cool track like that.
Yeah.
It probably won't be California.
I mean, like we can always buy little like GP bikes, and we can turn this parking lot in here into a little track.
Saturday track.
Yeah, like Saturday and Sunday, there's nobody here. I was here this weekend, like fixing up this room, and
this place is quiet.
And there's nobody here, like literally nobody.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty fun to go out there and just create a track. Let's see. So what else is going on?
So you started to talk about, but before the Supercross,
yeah,
we had a 50-mile ride.
Oh yeah. So
bicycle ride.
We did bicycle ride. So we're kind of going out into the community and reaching out to all the cyclists and getting. Technically, it was just all racers that were on the bike ride.
Because who else is doing a 50-mile ride?
There was about 9 of us. That's like 9 people that confirmed that said they were going to come to the ride. Little by little, like throughout the day, they started trickling away. Like
when they found that it was 50.
No. So like it wasn't 58 miles until we were at mile 35, and then we're like, let's just keep on going.
Okay.
So there was like 9 of us, and then like little by little people were like Dino, he's like, oh, he had like an appointment at 9. He's like, I can't make it. And like, so a couple people started trickling in or trickling out of the ride. So ended up being 4 of us. And
I didn't make it. I was at a funeral, and had I made it, the funeral would have been my funeral. It's a long ride.
So it was originally supposed to be 35, but then once we got out riding, we were all just having a great time. We ended up cycling to Huntington Beach. We went up to the Angel Stadium, and then we came right back home. Wow, we cycled back home. So it ended up being about
home to Irvine here.
Yeah, home to Irvine. Yeah,
HQ.
So 58 miles. What else do we have? So we have a couple events that we're planning, right? So we have some MotoGP viewing events.
So we debated long and hard about how to do the first viewing.
Yes.
Which everybody knows Qatar is the
first round.
Is the first round.
Yeah.
And we're looking at the time.
It
starts early.
Race is 9 a.m. But we're thinking about just doing the like a midnight a noon race.
Yeah.
Watching the race at noon, and having some brunch or whatever. And
so we'll do it the way we do most of the races: is watch it on delay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like doing that, but I'll do it.
It's better than having to be here and clean up and get the taco guy here at 8 a.m.
Yeah. True.
So, this is subject to change, but right now, tentatively, we're going to have an event here at HQ at the RiderzLaw Better Call Cy headquarters.
Yes.
That we'll do it, at noon.
Yeah, noon.
Maybe we do a morning ride.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then we come back. That way, no one's compelled to check their phone.
Yeah, that's
check
true.
The scores.
Yeah, I'll make sure to keep them busy on the bicycle so they can't
check
look.
The scores. You can tell I'm in playoff football mode.
Yeah. and then we're thinking about doing a COTA event as well.
Yeah.
Having people over watching the race. Now the race starts at 2, but obviously we're in Pacific, so it's noon.
Yeah.
So that'll be another day too.
And that wouldn't be another day. That would be another good day to do a bicycle ride in the morning.
Yes.
And come back and drink beers and put those calories right back on.
Yeah. drinking beers and
shifting gears.
Shifting gears, yeah, drinking beers and shifting gears. I also have in April, I actually have an Ironman race that I'm planning on racing.
Okay.
And so I'm actually going to take a Better Call Saul, like, easy up, because it's right on the beach.
Nice.
And then come and find me.
All right,
And we got some, like, free swag and stuff. That'll be fun.
yeah, that'll be cool.
That'll be a lot of fun.
We should have, at any of these events, we'll have free swag. If you want to join, hit Fabian up on social, and
Yeah.
you may have space for a couple people. So, yeah,
For sure.
a lot of cool things coming up, and then we'll give you, we'll start to update you with the, and keep wanting to say feel like a bro,
Yeah.
with the, what's it called?
Rumble Strip
Rumble Strip. I wanted to call it the
Rentals.
other one that he didn't end up naming it.
Oh, yeah, Rumble Strip Rentals. So
We need a big poster up in here.
we should get a poster.
Yeah.
Once the livery on the bike is
Yeah.
done, then we'll do it. So let's hear that story.
Which one are we talking about?
The story because you were talking about the story about the guy, he crashed his motorcycle.
Oh, so yeah, we'll give you kind of the next chapter.
He was intoxicated. And
Yeah,
you're
so
like, you're already vested.
I get a call. I'll give you the recap real quick. Get a call, single vehicle accident. Those are always terrible, but I go and look at the bike, and I'm, looking at the witness statement and going, wow, this guy's bike had a front end failure. I mean, there's no question in my head. And I'm talking to him, and he had just gotten the tire changed. Like, to me, I can tell by what I'm looking at and by his story and by the witness statement that absolutely there's a front end, probably a tire failure that caused this front end wobble. Anyway, deep into this case, and I'm getting the best experts, and then I get the toxicology report. He's 3 times the legal limit. That's, I think, where I left off.
Yeah, that's where you left off, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not the only one who gets this report. The defense attorney and the insurance company also get the report. And, of course, their immediate reaction is laughter. And they said, we will never pay you 1 cent on this. They didn't think they were going to pay before they got that toxicology report, because proving a tire failure it's incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
But I lined up literally the best experts in the country. I got the best motorcycle accident recon guy out of St. Louis. I got his recommendation on the best tire expert, a guy out of Ohio, and I got the best metal expert to talk about, like, looking at the rim and how this, the shape of the rim. Basically, what the guy's testimony is if when my client hit this concrete berm, if the tire had not been deflated, the rim, the shape of the rim dent would have been different. Basically, it would have acted as an airbag and made the dent in the rim a softer dent, and instead it looked like Pac-Man. It was like a very sharp, dramatic dent. So that helped prove the point that there was a rapid deflation.
Yeah. Okay.
My tire guy, upon inspection, finds a metal sticker still inside the tire, and we also had the problem that the company that had changed the tire, and I'm not going to say who it was, because I think by and large they're a local dealer, and I'm not trying to bag on them for a mistake. They paid plenty.
Yeah.
But they didn't change the inner tube, so we had an old inner tube combined with this, a metal sticker that caused friction. So we had all the pieces there to show, hey, this was likely the result of your error of keeping an old inner tube and not taking this metal sticker out. And of course, the big problem, though, that we kept running into, because we're in Orange County, is the fact that the guy's 3 times the legal limit.
Yeah.
And the easy answer, anytime somebody crashes their bike by themselves, if they're hammered, is that, well, they were hammered.
Yeah.
So we also ended up getting the top toxicology expert in the country, and finding every single mistake that the hospital made. Mistake's not a fair way to say it, because it wasn't a criminal investigation. They were just doing their ordinary medical write-up. But all of the things they did improper if they were trying to prove his toxicology. So we found a bunch of things. They lost the originals of all of the reports. They could not confirm that they didn't use an alcohol swab when they drew blood. And it seems minor, right? An alcohol swab on your skin.
Yeah.
But you're not talking about drinking the alcohol. You're talking about literally straight up alcohol in a small quantity going into another small quantity, so it can swing that needle dramatically if you use an alcohol swab. So they couldn't confirm that they didn't use that. They said, oh, we don't think we would have. Like, perfect. You don't think so, maybe you did. They couldn't tell if it was from a vein or from an artery, and that matters. Venal blood versus arterial blood. We found all of these different mistakes that they made. Again, I'm not criticizing the hospital because their goal was to save this guy's life. It wasn't to prosecute him for DUI. So these many, many mistakes, and they started to stack up. That combined with all of my experts. And it was a confidential settlement, but it was awfully big, is what I will say. On a case that we were promised we would never get paid on. And kind of, in my negotiation, the attorney, one of my favorite moments of this thing, the attorney said, I can never pay you on this case. Your guy was hammered. You'll never let me live it down. And what I told him was this, is that we're going to keep the blood out. The judge will never let this blood in. There's, a dozen mistakes. One or two, he'll let it slide, but there's too many. And when we keep the blood out, I ain't going to settle the case. But when we win in court, I'm going to put an ad in every single newspaper I can find that we beat you, and the fact that the guy was triple the legal limit. And he folded like a cheap suit.
I feel like I would too. That's scary.
Terrifying. You can't lose that case.
And if you do, what does that mean?
Right.
That means you should just stop becoming a lawyer and become a judge.
Right. Hang up your cleats. That's what it means. No, and his explanation of people are going, how do you lose that case? Well, they kept the blood out. That's it. I mean, it sounds, there's no excuse. It's good enough. It's like if you lose a football game by 34 points and you're like, well, the refs. It doesn't matter who the refs are. At the end of the day, the scoreboard is all that matters.
If you lose by 34 points, that's...
In fact, if you lose by 1, nobody remembers the refs.
That's true.
All they remember is the scoreboard. So that terrified him. Because I was like, look, if the blood stays in... I don't like us in this thing. If the blood stays out, we're gonna mop the floor with you. So anyway, we he had to come to terms with his fear and desire, and he wrote a big check.
I mean, I feel like that's a smart move on his part, right? He checkmate, checkmate, motherfucker. And it's just that's at the end of the day.
The silliest thing is this client who deserved not a penny. Honestly, if you're going to drive triple the legal limit, whatever happens, no matter whose fault it is, there's probably nothing that somebody can do for you. I happen to be too stupid to not take the case. I can win it, right? But every attorney I know would turn that case down. And if I knew the facts when going in, if I knew all of them, I would have turned it down. But he never should have been on the bike that day. 100% never should have been on the bike that day. I turned a miracle for that guy. And he was angry that I wanted to settle. He called me a coward for not taking it to trial. And I told him, I'm going to make up a name. And I told him, Steve, not his real name, Steve, I'll take just about anything to trial. But we are going to dive headfirst into a wood chipper. This is an Orange County jury. If this blood comes in, there is no jury anywhere that will give you 1 cent, and sure as heck not here in Orange County. You're done. You're cooked. He was angry. I had to drag him kicking and screaming to a ridiculously good settlement. That without the blood, honestly, without the blood, it still would have been a good settlement. Without the booze factor, because it's a single vehicle accident. And their expert's going to say the opposite of mine. So you never know in cases like that, but it goes to show, in my experience, actually, the less deserving a client is of a huge payday, the less they appreciate it.
I mean, that's how it is with everything, I think.
No, the kids, you get a kid who lost a limb, and they're always like, thanks for whatever you can do. You're amazing. You get the guy who's broke his pinky, thinks he should get paid $1 million. You're fine. You're fine, buddy.
It sucks how that unfortunately happens.
And look, we'll take the pinky cases too, but you don't want to get rich from a motorcycle accident. A very terrible thing happened if you got rich from a motorcycle accident.
The more money you get, the worse. Or more than likely means the worse the
injuries. With that said, it's better to get rich than stay poor and horribly injured.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true. You don't want to be poor and get horribly injured.
Yeah. And make no mistake, they blame us. I mean, the jurors tend to blame us. Insurance companies blame us. When we get in accidents, they blame us.
Yeah.
So you need an attorney who is fearless and who understands the game and the nuances to a motorcycle case.
Yeah.
And who actually, we love this stuff. Like, I don't like that my fellow motorcyclists get injured, but I do like getting them justice. It's very personally fulfilling having been on the other side of that, having been the guy laid up in bed with insurance companies sticking it to me.
Yeah, you're like Robin Hood in a sense.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of.
Except I keep a third of the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Robin Hood had expenses. Come on.
Yeah, I mean that's all. Like, I don't see you flying around in a private jet or anything.
No. Well.
Not yet.
Yeah, I mean it's not a jet. So.
Yeah.
No, look, we take good care of people, and we are very, very honest, and we'll cut our fees when justice requires that.
Yeah. There's one thing that I remember from you when we first like I think one of my first years that I was with you, and you basically said like I will never take more money than the client gets. Essentially, like if your fees end up being like $7,000 and he's only going to get like $2,000. He's like, there's no point in me. Like, why am I going to take more money than he's going to get back?
When I waived my fees on rent, and this isn't not a sales pitch. I had a kid come in, he lost his leg from the knee down. The woman who hit him ran a red light. Was driving a brand new car. Was I'll say first generation immigrant, which is relevant only insofar as she was very dialed into I will say something resembling a crimey family. Mm-hmm. And if you tried to guess where she was from, you would get it wrong unless you had maybe 100 guesses. But the point was that this woman had money, but on paper had nothing, right? Didn't own her own house, didn't own her own car, didn't own anything. She had a $15,000 policy, and that was it. Or maybe he just had his $15,000 UM. But at the end of the day, there was only $15,000 in this to get for this poor kid, which is very frustrating when you can see that like this person's a criminal. The person who hit him is a criminal, but I'll never be able to touch his money. Yeah. I'll never. If I spend 10 years, I won't see anything.
Yeah.
Not only did I waive all my fees for that kid, and $15,000 sucks. You lost your leg. Here's $15,000.
Yeah.
But I waived all of my attorney's fees, and I got the hospital to waive every single bill.
Oh, that's really good.
And like, I get all choked up just talking about it. It felt good, man. So I don't do it routinely. Like somebody coming in and like, oh, you should waive your fees. Like if you have to ask, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
But there are occasions, because we work hard, my staff works hard, we put a lot of resources into this, but there are plenty of occasions over the years where I look at it and I say, I'm not taking, and I jokingly told the young man, like, I'm not a saint, man. I would gladly have taken $300,000 from you, but I'm not going to take $5,000 from you. So, and we're not saints here, but I'll tell you what, but we are incredibly ethical and we do care about what we do.
Yeah, we do the right thing.
Yeah. So, and what a good kid. Man, he sent me that. Now I'm thinking about this. Giving me what are the kids call it? Giving me the feels.
The feels.
The kid sent me a video of him skateboarding on his prosthetic leg.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really cool. Like,
that is really cool.
I got a little choked up with it. Like, attaboy. And this is a kid, again, gets $15,000 for losing a limb. Horrible. That's a horrible outcome. But his attitude was amazing, man. He was just so grateful for what we did here.
Yeah.
And for the relative generosity that the firm showed. And like, but honestly, I mean, as I said, I have no problem getting paid on a big case, but in a situation like that where it's literally the worst scenario and he did nothing wrong.
Yeah. And that's when you understand that you have, that you're passionate about what you do, is because you're not doing it for like the money. Any other person would have been like, whatever, that's $5,000 in my pocket.
Yeah, and make no mistake, when I retire, I'm not doing this as a hobby.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah.
This is hard work.
Well, yeah,
but I am passionate about it.
Yeah.
We are passionate about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let's. So I read something this week. We were looking through some old photos. I was looking for old photos. We're decorating the bar. Yeah. And we have literally thousands of racing photos and stuff, which evoked some great memories from track days gone by and races gone by. But I saw something, I can't remember why I took a screenshot of it, other than how absurd it was. And there's a lesson at the end of this. And it said, it was, motorcycle advice, like safety advice, and it said, never use your front brake first. Always always brake with your rear brake. And I'm like, what in the hell is this? This is insane.
Yeah.
And I remember then why I had pulled it, and I think it was for another, some kind of safety lesson we were doing for whatever it was back then.
Yeah.
Of be careful what you get on the internet. And this is true with motorcycle advice. This is true with legal advice. The guy who says use your rear brake and not your front brake, AI, a bot, or an idiot? I don't know which of the above it is, but it's one of them. So yeah, be careful whether it's legal advice, whether it's motorcycle safety advice.
Yeah, why would someone do that? I mean,
I don't even know how you find what. I'm sure at the time I'm like, who wrote this? What proper idiot wrote this thing?
You know what? That actually sounds right. I think I sent that to you because I was like, we were working with a company for like an SEO company for the RiderzLaw. When you say that
sounds right, you don't mean the advice sounds right.
No. I'm saying that sounds right. Like, I think I sent you that, and I said, and because they wanted to publish that on our webpage.
That was the new SEO people.
Yeah, that was the SEO people, and they basically
that's what it was.
They created this like banner or like this thing that they were going to post on our website, and I sent you a screenshot, and I'm like. And I was like, dude, please tell me you're joking. Like, why are they going to do that?
So this is, and look, I Googled this. Quora. And this is just at the top of the Google search. You do not want to brake front first. There is several hundred pounds of mass behind that pivot point of the front axle. Brake with just the front too much and the mass will start the pivot process, possibly landing, blah, blah, blah. Not good for the bike and really good for the rider. This advice is really sound in the 70s on your Schwinn when you didn't have suspension.
Yeah, or maybe...
Because it's not a pivot point. You have front forks. I mean, you can't just jam on like a crazy person, but the notion that you shouldn't be braking with your front, you're getting something in the ballpark of 90% of your braking in the front brake, especially on emergency braking.
On a sport bike, for sure. I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't think there'd be any difference in a cruiser or
I've ridden I've ridden Harleys and I have a V-Star and I've ridden everything. No, even more so those, and in fact, what we'll lose, I'm sure, Harley guys who think don't know what I'm talking about, but they're wrong. These guys, and we see a lot of accidents of guys locking up that rear brake instead of getting on the front. I kind of
like locking up my rear brake. It's fun.
It's fun on the track. Part of the problem is
because I don't really know how to back it in properly, so I just use my rear brake to lock and then slide it in.
Right. If you lock up that rear brake, a lot of times what you'll see, and this is typical with big cruiser riders, is that rear brake, that rear will start to come out from behind them, and then they panic and let go of the rear brake, and it'll snap back, and that's how a lot of times that riders will be. I'll say
high side
and their connection with the motorcycle. That's how they'll high side, exactly. Be careful the advice, whether it's legal or riding advice. Be careful the advice
and you want to make sure you're talking to someone that knows, because sometimes when you call or when you see information online, they sound like it's right, but it's just people just talking.
No, and this is the thing, is the internet has no filter.
Yeah, basically.
It has no truth filter, and God forbid you have one, then it's only as good as the guy who's deciding if it's right or wrong. Right?
True.
If you're getting riding advice from Quora, if you're getting riding advice, and I'm not saying it's the worst thing to get advice on what kind of bike do I want, but you're going to get wrong information as often as you get right information.
Yeah.
And the same goes for legal issues. AI has become incredibly prolific. Is that the right word? AI is everywhere now.
Yeah.
And law firms are using it too. There's nothing wrong with that as long as a lawyer is looking at the information.
Yeah.
But they're more concerned about SEO. They're more concerned about content existing than content being good.
Correct, yeah.
So, unless you're at a reputable source, And again, I mean, as you pointed out, I forgot about this. The SEO people that my old partner had hired years ago, they were churning out these articles that I spent more time rewriting their stuff, editing their stuff, and fixing their stuff than if I was doing it myself.
Yeah, no, and it's. I mean, I'm happy that we were actually paying close attention, because there were some people here at the time that they didn't really care. Yeah. And they didn't know. And they just said, yeah, just post it. And I said, wait, hold on. And that's when I sent you the screenshot, like, hey, this isn't right.
And that's Rider's Law. I mean, talk about, having to be careful. If that, and it didn't slip through the cracks here.
No,
but
it didn't. No. Yeah.
And if Rider's Law is potentially susceptible to something like that, think about the million other, ambulance chasing knuckleheads out there who don't know or care.
Yeah, and then I think that's why when we choose, when we start hiring other lawyers at different states, that's going to be part of like the prerequisite of like, you have to understand what how to use them, like how to work a motorcycle and how to ride it properly. Yeah. Because that at the end of the day, that'll be the key factor whether you could actually get one of our clients paid or not. If someone calls Rider's Law and they're from Arizona and we're like, oh, this is a really good case, and we send it to one of our lawyers in Arizona and they're like, oh no, nothing went through, but it's just because they didn't know what happened.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't take the time.
There's got to be 100 cases that we've successfully prosecuted. I know people are like, prosecuted. We use that word civilly too, meaning that we shove through the court system. But there's got to be 100 cases that we have successfully either settled or taken to judgment that other attorneys have dropped. Yeah. And a lot of it times is because they don't see what we see. Yeah. We eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff.
And find someone that loves motorcycles.
Yeah. You want a good lawyer that loves motorcycles.
And knows how to ride and knows how to if they see an accident, you'd be like, wait, how did this happen? Like, oh, like, I could tell that you lost, that your front tire gave out. Right. Whatever it may be. Like.
Yeah, remind me next week, I'll tell a story. It was on the Golden Gate Bridge, a case that 3 people had turned down. And when I looked at the police report, I'm like, yeah, there's nothing I can do. But there was a video, and I watched the video. I watched it 10 times. Because at first I was like, yes, there's nothing. And I'm like, watch it again. By the third time, I'm like, well,
hold on.
And we ended up getting, I think, either 100 or 250 settlement as policy limits on that case.
Oh, really?
But I'll give you the details next week, and we can maybe even put up. I'll ask the client if we can put it up and show the video. It's pretty awesome.
Okay. Let's do it.
Well, we need the permission, of course, first. Yeah. But anyway, that is all the time I have. Do we have any wrap ups here?
Yeah, that's basically it. So. Yeah, guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We'll see you this year, hopefully on the track or some races.
I can't be more excited about 2024.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
We're back with Josh. We haven't been with Josh since he was, I think, the early days.
Mean Motorsports.
Mean. Yeah, that's insane. It's been a long, long time since we've worked directly with him, but we've stayed,
we stayed in contact here.
Yeah, stayed in contact. KDJR.
Yeah. I'm super excited to have him.
Rumble Strip Racing, Rumble Strip Rentals. And Dave is awesome to work with, man. Just a class act. I'm really excited that we're back with him.
Yeah, so let's go. Anyways, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.
All right, we'll talk to you in a week.
Let's go.
Let's go.